start off? Just try to make sure you have...
So about a year ago, I guess things kind of really started to change in the house. You know, we lost our Basset Trigger. He died from old age. My wife, she actually spent some time in the hospital at the end of last year. And so it was kind of one of those things where, you know, I kind of decided to, you know, stick around a little bit closer to home and spend more time with my wife. She was unemployed for about, you know, my wife, she was unemployed for about 8 months, and finally she landed a job in a very difficult job market. She landed a job that she was really happy with, and it wasn't shortly after she landed this job that she really started to want to get outdoors. And it was kind of like, you know, every weekend we had, she wanted to go out and go swimming somewhere. And so I remember looking back and being on all these fisheries that I've been on and all these lakes and creeks and, you know, in and throughout Texas, and I've seen some really, really beautiful places to get, you know, that you could find if you've got a boat or a way to get off the bank. And so I started thinking about us getting a canoe. And once I mentioned it to her, she was on board with it right away. You know, there was a few things that, you know, I really wanted to get out of using a canoe. You know, that was to, you know, bring me and Kelly closer together, have us spend more valuable time outside of the house and outside of work and grocery shopping and doing all this. You know, that was something that we could use to get out of our rigmarole. You know, we've been married, we've had 14 years of happy marriage, and we work really good together, always have. And so I thought we'd be perfect for a canoe. So we started looking, and I started thinking about things and putting things together, and you know, I was out in the garage, you know, working on a new logo for this page, just to kind of, you know, have a place to share all these canoe trips that we were about to endeavor on. And so I created Canoedle, and it wasn't a couple days after that that Kelly and I were sitting here, and she said the word Canoedle, and so I knew it all had to make sense. You know, it couldn't be that much of a coincidence.
We're still upright. I want to get a lot of
once we decided that we were going to take this next, take this next leg of our journey in a canoe, we started looking out for canoes for sale, and so we waited. I found a bunch of canoes that were somewhere between $300 and $550 used. We weren't in a situation to where we could spend, top dollar to get a really great canoe. But when one did pop up, we picked up a great deal. We picked one up for $200, which was almost unheard of. I saw it pop up, and right away I jumped on it and went down and picked it up, and it ended up being a really great canoe. It had been probably, 30 years since I had last actually went canoeing. And, that was with my grandpa Mike on the Iroquois River in northwest Indiana. And I remember a lot of what he taught me, that was my first time actually canoeing. And so he just laid down some ground rules, he basically said, here's what you need to know to move forward and stay upright. And so that stuff always stayed with me, and I continue to use that as I've kayaked and boated ever since then. And that's what I taught Kelly, we're not trying to be somebody out there trying to tell everyone else how to do it. We're just trying to do it and stay upright, We're trying to have fun. We're trying to enjoy working together, enjoy building on our teamwork, building on a little bit of everything, everything from patience to teamwork. It all seems to get improved the better that you can work together in a canoe. So getting into a canoe was just what we needed to do. You know, I had been fishing out of a kayak for a long time now, and you know, we thought about kayaks for a split second. You know, maybe we just get her, since I already have a kayak. You know, we just get her a kayak. Well, you know, I think that was working against what we were trying to accomplish. You know, kayaks are great if you want your independence, but we wanted more togetherness. And so a canoe was a perfect choice for it.
Settles upon the night sky. For how long have we been driving by? For how long have we been driving by? You can hear the humming wind. We planned our greatest escape. Fleeing through the leaves, the redwood giants. Fleeing through the leaves, the redwood giants. I should say you were meant to come, we were meant to meet. You didn't want to leave, but it was all meant to be. You were meant to come, we were meant to meet. You didn't want to leave, but it was all meant to be. Meets me at downs on the path. Run along with the golden bird.
Have fun?
This trip that we went on, it was our first trip, you know, and I'm sure there will be people out there, I don't know, probably telling us how bad we paddle, how bad of canoeists we are, you know, probably everything. You know, there's a little bit of hate everywhere today, but that's why we go on these things. You know, we could have got in with these other Facebook groups and started doing that, but you know what, when it came down to it, I thought it was all just a little bit too serious for me. We really wanted a much more of a lighthearted approach to what we were trying to accomplish. You know, we're not trying to impress anybody. We're not trying to show off all of our equipment, because we don't have no expensive equipment. You know, we've got water shoes, we've got life jackets, decent oars, and a decent canoe. You know, that's about all we need. And with that, we had a pretty good time. And you know, by the time we got off the water, I asked her if she enjoyed herself, and she said yeah. You know, she said she was ready for the next time already. So this was definitely a successful trip. Any trip where everybody wants to get back out there again next weekend, you can chalk that up as a win. Until next time, thank you guys for supporting Canoedle. Hopefully it grows to be much more than just our trips. Please join our Facebook group. You can find a link to it right on the Canoedle page. Till then, take care everybody. Peace.
imagine like the reliability that it would be for now versus the 80s for that? And it was like, I mean, the counselors were like 15, 14, 15, 16 year olds. They're the ones watching all these like 6 to like 12-year-olds.
My mom taught me how to swim in that river behind my grandpa's house. Good with this?